Well, guys, welcome back to the nest. I hope you're all keeping well. Sad to say, we've only got one more film to do from 1973. The film tonight is Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Sad face. I do have to say, I don't know if there's much to say about this movie because, to be honest, it felt really, really short, so it did, very fast paced. And also, I'm getting quite bored of the Planet of the Apes movies, like the original series, because I've done all five of them now and it's just gotten a wee bit boring. But I'm finally glad to see how the original story ended. So, I don't know how many years this has taken place after the previous movie. I do know that the story is told in 2670 AD, and it is told by an orangutan named the Lawgiver. So, it's several years after the last movie, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and it seems that humans and apes are living together peacefully. Now, I do know that there's many futures been told. In Escape from the Planet of the Apes, it was discovered that it was revealed that the way apes could speak was by a gorilla named Aldo. No, it was an ape named Aldo, but it turns out that Aldo is a gorilla, and he is just a dick. And he just doesn't trust the humans. Like, say, if he's being taught, he just tries to put up a fight with them. I have to say, Caesar, I think, is a very respectable leader. He knows what he's doing. However, I don't know if they should not be allowed to say the word no. Like, humans are barred from saying no because apparently it reminds the apes of whenever they were imprisoned and enslaved. Do we just put our hands up? Do we just use gestures? What if we don't want sugar in our tea? What are we supposed to do then? Just say yes. You never know, guys. It turns out Caesar now has a family. He has a wife called Lisa, who turns out to be the ape he rescued from that awful prison, and she has finally developed speech just like all the other apes. He has a son named Cornelius. Now, this is Cornelius the Second, named after his late grandfather, but he's proper looking after him. Like, he doesn't want him going off, getting in trouble. He must stick by the rules. And I think it's just because, the way Caesar's grown up, he didn't really have much. He never even got to know his parents. He was only raised by a circus owner, as you remember Armando. I have respect for that man. However, he just wants to find answers about what's happened to the rest of the humans. He brings along Virgil, and now this really confused me. McDonald is not the same McDonald from the last movie. It's his younger brother. I wonder how many years this has taken place after the previous film. Obviously, it doesn't take place thousands because no chimpanzee or any ape or any human can live for thousands of years. I only realised it was just the prologue that was said at the very beginning. Virgil, Caesar, and McDonald's younger brother, McDonald, they go off and find what's left of the human population that was destroyed by a nuclear war. As you remember in the first film, it was revealed that Taylor was on planet Earth the whole time. It was just destroyed by a nuclear war. Well, I guess this is slowly building up to that moment. You maniacs, you blow it up, damn you! Unfortunately, there are some humans that are still alive, and they're badly mutated from the nuclear waste. One of them is General Culp. He's now the leader. I don't know if you remember, but he was Breck's assistant, and he treated per Caesar like crap, so he did. While trying to find the footage of his late parents, he gets spotted on the CCTVs, but he has guns. Now, obviously, we're allowed to have guns to protect ourselves. Well, what if the humans saw him the first time and then they... You never know. That could have happened to per Caesar and Virgil and McDonald. They all make their way to try and capture him. Luckily, they make it out alive, but Culp, despite his assistant saying he was not there for trouble, he was just there to find something that belonged to his. And he was looking for footage of his parents. Culp just believes he wants to wipe out the last remaining human race. However, one night, whenever Cornelius is going to bed, he's put his squirrel to bed. I wonder how you manage to tame a squirrel and keep it as a pet. I actually know one person who has a pet squirrel. They just found it. They just found it, and they managed to take care of it. So it still lives in the person's back garden, but it got released in the wild. Obviously, still comes to visit that person. I'm not getting into all that, but anyway, Cornelius, while he's looking for a squirrel, comes across Aldo and the gorillas. They did say in this movie that it was the gorillas that actually ruined everything. They tried to wipe out the whole human race and just damage the entire future. That's the whole point of this movie. Caesar is actually wondering if he can actually change the future of mankind and apes. Because I do realize in this movie that apes and humans are getting along in this movie. Like the humans are working and doing labor, but they're not being used as slaves as you saw in the first movie in 1968. However, Cornelius is unfortunately spotted by Aldo, and Aldo climbs up the tree, cuts off the branch with a sword, and Cornelius unfortunately falls and he is badly injured. The next morning, MacDonald realizes that the embers are still slightly warm, and he investigates the branch, and he shows Virgil these have been cut, not snapped. You're not going to get away with something like that. Unfortunately, before Cornelius can reveal who his killer was, he sadly passes away. I feel so sorry for Caesar. He is just all he has left of is his wife and his tribe. He's lost his son. He never learned who his parents were. What's he got to lose? What more does he have? What more can he do as a leader? That's probably the big question of the movie. Aldo and his minions are now trying to attack the mutants by throwing grenades at them, shooting them with the weapons they took from the artillery, even though they are barred. Caesar's orders! Caesar is not here. All orders come from me. And that just persuades Cope and his men to ignite a war between them. All humans are locked up in a corral, even though they haven't done anything. They're just kept out of the way. I gotta say, they have put up quite a well fight. The apes seem to have won, even though most of the village has been destroyed. R.I.P. most of Ape Village. We'll rebuild the half of it. Luckily, the humans managed to retreat, but Aldo just makes things worse, and he just throws grenades into the bus. However, I do like how Culp has managed to get what he deserves. Guess that's what always happens to the bad guy. I wonder what happened to Breck. I don't know if you remember in the last movie, but he wasn't killed. Maybe he was just used as a slave. We'll never know. It's a big mystery in the whole series. Back at camp, the true murderer of Cornelius is revealed. It was Aldo. The branch was cut by a sword. And unfortunately, Aldo has broken the most important rule of all. Ape does not kill ape. Ape does not kill ape. Ape does not kill ape. I guess we can say Aldo's probably the worst villain of the movie, even though Culp's like the main antagonist, because he is the one who's led the war on. He has managed to wreak havoc. He's destroyed most of Ape City because of the humans, of he's caused them to do what they've done. He killed Cornelius' son, and he's ruined everything. However, it looks like Caesar has changed the future after all, because, he's decided to treat the humans as equals. He's realised he's no better than them, who've kept him as slaves. He can only hope for a future where they can no longer have to use weapons. They lock them up, never to be used again. Seems like the future's good, and it's actually shown 600 years after Caesar's death. The lawgiver is telling the story to a group of children, human children, and apes. So it looks like we have got a great future after all. And there will come a time where the apes will never have to use weapons again. And as the lawgiver says, wait for hope. And it ends with a shot of Caesar as a statue and a tear running down his face. I gotta say, I've really enjoyed the original Planet of the Apes series. I do know that there's probably gonna be a couple of reboots whenever I progress on further with this channel, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. It's sad to see the series end, but unfortunately, I gotta say, I was getting quite tired of it. This movie was okay. It had a great ending to it. I'm glad it was a happy ending. It was sad about Cornelius, but guess that's what usually happens. The protagonist loses something very close to him, but he manages to find victory in the end. It all works out in the end. I gotta say goodbye to another series. Thank you very much, the original series of Planet of the Apes. It's not only the end of the series, it's also the end of 1973. I've really enjoyed this year, guys. It's been absolutely fantastic. Like I've said before, I do enjoy the movies that were released in the year that have an odd number at the end. I think there's just more action in them. Guess they just gotta take that whole year to make a really good bunch of movies. I don't know how the industry works, even though I'm a actor in training. Sadly, in 1973 we did lose a couple great celebrities. We lost Bruce Lee, one of the pioneers of action. And we also lost J.R.R. Tolkien. J.R.R. Tolkien is the writer of a bunch of fantasy novels, which I will be covering in the either the months or the year to come. Just have to wait and see. I'm not going to reveal what they are yet, but J.R.R. Tolkien, I've been heard to keep a close eye on his work because they're going to be movies I'm going to be reacting to in the future. I've been told that they're fantastic, but I'll not reveal what they are. I don't know what they are yet. Just kidding, I do, but we're not going to watch them until I get to the respective years. But thanks so much for watching 1973 with me, guys. I gotta say, I'm really loving how you guys are enjoying the editing so far. It's really making my channel so much more better. People have actually messaged me saying, this is so much better, Jack. Looking better already. This is what we're looking for. And since we're now on to the next year, 1974, we've only got 3 more years until we get on to the great stuff. All the gaming. Just wait and see, guys. The channel's going to take off very soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment what you would like to see next, subscribe, turn on notifications for this channel, all notifications, tell your friends on social media, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Love you all to death.